Hey guys, Adam back with you again, and just wanted to talk about my next project that I'm about to start on, and I thought I would share it with you. I've got a shaft that I've got to do a little bit of repair on, and I've got another couple of parts that I've got to fabricate to go with this shaft. And it's a job that I've already done, so it's actually a repeat job. I did this job probably, I think it was 2006. I built the shaft and built all the parts with it. Well, the customer, he actually is building another unit that he's putting together, and this is going to be sort of like a spare unit. So he wants all these parts fixed and machined so that he can get it all together. He'll have it in his building, and if he needs it, he'll have it ready to roll. So I'm going to show you the shaft and the parts I got to make and what I'll be working on. I thought it'd be fun real quick to show you how I'm actually holding the camera. If you guys read, I'm using the GoPro Hero 3 camera, and I made a little fixture to hold it on my Noga flex arm indicator holder, and I thought I would show that because I've had a couple people ask me about that. And it's a pretty neat little system. I like it because I can take it and set it pretty much anywhere in the shop on the machines or the welding table and move the camera around and get the angle that I want. It works pretty good. So I'm going to take it off here just so you can kind of see what I'm doing or how I'm holding it. I'm going to slide it out of the mount, and you can see there that's my Noga indicator holder, and I love it because I love using these things. I use it with my indicator. Anytime I'm indicating on the lathe, this is what I use, and it's a real nice piece. But this is the part that I made to go in the holder right here. I'll see if I can get it out of there. That right there, that is the base of a stared indicator that I used, and this is a little stub that I made, you know, with a 3/8 stem on it. And that piece there is the sticky mount that comes with the camera when you buy it. They actually give you two of these. One's flat and one's curved. For like, the curved one is like if you want to mount it on your helmet for you know, bicycle or dirt bike, motorcycle riding, you can stick it on your helmet. But that's the one that came with it. So what I did is I took this stared indicator back that I wasn't using, and it was sort of a casted, I don't believe it's machined, it was just casted. So I fly cut it so that it would have a nice flat surface and stuck the sticky base to it, and that's what I use. Put it in that holder and snug it up, and then the bottom of the camera mount slides into this bracket and it clicks in, and it's there. You got to squeeze two arms to slide it out, so it's not going anywhere. So I'm actually gonna slide it back in place, and you'll hear it click, and it's back on there. And I can take this thing and just move it anywhere I want to and tighten it up. So that's how I'm holding the camera to make the videos. So on to the work. I'll show you what I got. This is the shaft that I've got to do some repair on. Now this is the shaft that I made, and like I said, I believe it was 2006 that I made this shaft, and I made that out of a piece of solid 4140. You can see there's a hole all the way down that thing. Water passes through that. So that was a pretty challenging job, but it worked out. It turned out pretty good. I bought a long 1.25" taper shank drill bit and drilled that. That was originally an 1.25" hole. Now it's a little bigger than that now because of just you know, wear and corrosion. But I also made this drill here too. This is a piece of drill rod, and this was a 31/64 drill bit. I was looking at the brand. I think it's a Triumph. I can't remember. It's got the little lightning logo. But I made this piece of drill rod for an extension and silver brazed it together there. And this is what I use. And I've actually done 3 of these shafts. This was the first one that I made, okay? And then I made another one that he picked it up last year, early last year he picked it up, all right? And this is the 3rd one here that I haven't finished yet. I got it roughed in. I got it turned, just rough size, and then I drilled it all the way through using the 1.25 inch and then this drill bit here. But what you can do, the way that I did that was I drilled it halfway. I had it set up in the lathe in the steady rest, and I got a hole started, you know, with a standard jobber drill, and then I stick this one in there and just keep working it in and out until I got about halfway. And then when I did that, then I put the 1.25 inch in there, went about halfway. Then flipped it around and just repeated the process and got it all the way through. It's nothing precision because it's just a water passage. So this is one that I've got to complete, and this is going to be a future job, and I'll show you whenever I do that. There's a lot of work goes into that. There's a square thread that's machined here. You've got a double keyway here that's 180 out. You got another keyway there. There's a seal journal. You got your threads here for a bearing lock nut, and then the bearing register here, and then just some other little fancy machine work done there on the end. So what I've got to do with this one, he replaced the new one that I've already made with this one. He wants this one to be his spare shaft. But these 2 keys here take a lot of abuse, the ones that are 180 out. So what he wants me to do is weld these keys up and machine it, and then what we'll do is set it back in the mill, and we'll mill 2 more keyways in between it here, 90 degrees off of that. And what I've also got to do is this seal journal right here. It's got quite a bit of wear from use, got a little groove there, so it ain't gonna polish out. I'm gonna metallize this area right here with my metal spray and bring that back to size. I've also got to get this bearing off. He asked me if I would do that too, and I told him I would. So once I do that, then that'll be his spare shaft. Now, what else I have to do with this is right in this area here, you can see it's a darker area. It's just a steel collar that slides up on here, and we've got 2 set screws that hold it in place, and it's basically just like a spacer. So I've got to build another one of those. This is the stock that I'm going to use to build it. It's a piece of 3.5 inch 1045 chrome plated rod, some scrap that I cut a piece out of. 3.5, I've got to bore it for this to slide on. They'll have a couple set screws that'll lock it in place. The other piece I got to make, and I've already showed this once before, this piece here, I've got to make it, but it's going to look a little bit different than this. It's not going to have this step in here, and this one must have had another flange or something welded here, but it's just going to be a solid piece, and it'll be a flange. And this one's basically hand operated. This one you use your hands to pull the piece down and pull it back up, and he wants a big flange on here just like the other one that I made, but he wants another one. He wants me to make a new one, and it slides on this shaft right here, and that's what the double keyway's for. This one's got a lot of wear in it too. You can see them keyways inside, they're pretty worn. So that's what I got to do. That's going to be this project. This spare shaft here that I've still got to make. that's probably just going to be another video. Once I start on that, then I'll film that and show the process of the machine work to finish that one. So I'm going to go ahead and start welding up these keyways and get this turned back to size, mill new keyways, and we'll bore this, finish it. You know, it'll be nice and faced on the ends. I had to put the set screws in it with a collar. So that's it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start drilling and boring this piece here. This is going to make the collar. I've already got it chucked up, and I was bumping this end around true. I've got it, looks like about 1/1000, but that's good enough. The OD on this is not critical at all. As long as it's bored nice and straight and fits the shaft good. That's all we're looking for on this. Going to finish 4 inches long. Looks like I got a little over a 1/16 to face off the other end. What I usually like to do on my parts is cut them an 1/8 inch long, and then once you chuck them up, I'll touch off and take 50 thousandths on one side, and when I flip it around, it usually leaves me somewhere around a 1/16 of an inch. I mean, it's going to vary just a little bit depending on how bad that cut is. Start hearing that little bit of squealing and the chips pack it up, that's when I back it up. And it's usually just a little bit of an in and out job from there. Give the wheel handle a couple turns. Just went through. That part always helps if you got a good grind on the drill. That was a brand new grind that I just put on that 1/2 inch drill there, and it put out a good chip. Shoot a little oil up in the hole. Alright, next one I'm going to is the 1 7/8. Alright, it's drilled out. Gotta get a boring bar over here and get it bored to size. Alright, I'm getting ready to start boarding this thing out. I just checked it with the calipers. I'm at about 2 inches, 195. I used a 2 3/16 drill bit. I need to take it to 2 7/16, and the thing's still pretty hot. So I'm going to take a couple hundred thousandths out of it. I'm going to let it cool, and then I'll take my finished cuts through there. One of the things I wanted to point out is this 3-jaw chuck. It's been around a little while now. It's been used a lot, and the jaws are bell mouth, so I don't get perfect concentric holding out here on these jaws. But this part is just a collar. It's basically a spacer is what it is. Nothing rides out here. The diameter, if this is running out a little bit, it's not going to hurt anything in this application. Most of the stuff that I do where I've got to have everything true, I always use my 4-jaw chuck and indicate. But this is going to be fine. I'm afraid that even when I touch off here, it's going to try to pull it out just a little bit. I went ahead and bumped it. It was running at about 10 thousandths. And I bumped it back about, it's within 5 thousandths now, but it's not going to hurt anything. So I'm going to go ahead and take a couple cuts through here. Double check. Alright, about 290. I'm using a boring bar with a TNMG 431 insert, taking about a 10 thousandths feed rate. Alright, that'll leave me with enough to make a couple nice finishing passes through there. So I'm going to turn the fan on and let this thing cool down. Alright, it's cooled down. Yeah, got a little bit of warmth to it, but I can hold my hand on it. see where I'm at, and I'll go from there. Uh, 2-inch 390. All right. What you want. A little too fast. You want to try to avoid these kind of chips as much as possible. That's the stuff that'll hurt you there. Or 11. Getting a good finish in there, but the insert just ain't doing what I want it to do though. All right, I got about 2" .438. That should slide over the shaft. Just got to chamfer it. A nice clean bore through there. Take a minute. Gotta finish it at 4 inches. Got about roughly a 1/16 to come off of it. I'm just going to bump it up against the back of the chuck. A little more crooked than I got than what I thought. I still got about a 1/16. Alright, that's saying 32.5 there, 31.5. It's going to take 32,000 for my finished cut. Alright, we got it drilled and bored and faced the length. Gonna take it to the milling machine and put a couple set screws in it. Got 2 set screws to put in, 90 degrees apart. They're centered 5/8 from the end. I'll go ahead and get centered up and get one in. Alright, that's 5/8 from the end. I'm going to do another one 90 off. I don't have it set up on a stop or anything, and it's nothing real critical, so all I'm going to do is just rotate this thing. On things like this, I'll just stick the drill in there and just kind of eyeball it level. You can get a little fancy if you want and stick a level on the drill, but it's really no big deal. It's just to set it to the shaft. But what I am going to do is find the center again. Yeah. Alright, that's it. I'm going to run a flap in here because it's got a little bit of edge where the drill came through. I deburr that and it'll be done. Alright, I got the first part of the job done. Got the collar made. 2 7/16 bore, 4 inches long. Got 2 set screws, 90 apart. And it's, like I said, this was just a piece of scrap 3.5 inch chrome rod that I used. You can see the surface on it was messed up, got some scratches in it, but all it is a collar that sits here. It won't go all the way on there because there's a ding right there, and there's a bunch of rust build up on the shaft right there. I've got to polish that off. It tries to go on there, but that rust, that ding right there has got it kind of tight. So that part of it's done. I got to move on to the keyways and fix the seal journal down there and get it all polished up. I'll be back whenever I get to that part.